From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Washington Redskins and the New Orleans Saints. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Ready. 51 to mine. I got you, punk.
Now the first carry for Bryce Love. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
This is Love. And an alley to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week. And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
From midfield now, Haskins into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. They are in a zone. Remember, folks, 4 interceptions for this defense a week ago. First drive, make it number 5.
And the focal point will be the people who pick the ball out of the air. But let's not forget, to make that happen, it has to be an excellent pass rush, terrific coverage where they are plastered to the receivers, and then, of course, taking it away, making the catch, and going in the other direction.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. 5 yards on the carry, good pickup on first down. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Bree's going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Let's go. Strong left, strong left, strong left.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. Give the Redskins 13 there and a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you.
Check, check, check.
2,
5, 5.
There you are.
Kill, kill.
Joker, 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 Joker.
Wait, back.
On 2nd and 9, Breeze trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. He was trying to hit Thomas that time. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening...
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Bryce Love, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, check, check. 3 down, 3 down. Shift, shift.
Tonight.
Now Breeze. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And he'll take this back down inside the 20.
First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
On first down, here's Love. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. 2nd and 5 now. Haskins. That's complete to his receiver, McLaurin. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now Haskins. And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Redskins are able to stretch the lead out further. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball out of the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. On 2nd and 7, Breeze. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you can just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And finally marked down at the 23. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On first down, Breeze. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Breeze will try again on 2nd down. He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the 2nd down pass play only went for 2. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front seven? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going?
And got his man complete. The 20. Touchdown, Washington. Jakeem Grant, 79 yards. And the Redskins are able to stretch the lead out further.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the line.
And Kamara has it stripped, and the Redskins scoop it. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. On first down, it's Love. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second and inches, Haskins brought in over the middle by Grant. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now Haskins to throw it, and that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Looking to throw, Haskins. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. From 6 yards away. And the Redskins are able to stretch the lead out further. Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Monte Nicholson picks it. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30. 1:50 left to go in the second quarter. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
The Saints, 26-yard line.
Set, ready, 6 yard. Check, 52's the mic. Set, ready.
Off the play fake. Here's Haskins. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Haskins will throw. This will be caught inside the 10. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a 1st down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. From the gun, it's Haskins. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. He's trying to get it to Terry McLaurin, but it'll be 2nd and goal. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't it?
That he is.
And this is taken in for a Redskins touchdown. From 19 yards away, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The Redskins now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
Brings up 3rd down.
So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Redskins who have the lead here. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about teams scripting play.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Breeze. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. Here's Matt Bosher now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And out of bounds, this will depend on where they spot it, and they'll say at the 45. Out there ready for this next drive, the Redskins offense. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. On 2nd down, Love. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Third down. Here's Haskins. He's going to float this over the middle, deep into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Ready. Yellow lady. 11.
Get him.
Ready, catch.
Now on 2nd and 16. Breeze. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Ready.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
11.
Shotgun now for Breeze. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
Opposite. Keep calm. 132 fighter. She'll kill. Hey, easy.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. Thomas has got it, complete. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
He don't want it. Whip. Watch the whip.
He'll kill.
Mike 57. In your face.
To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Redskins' 19. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Breeze now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Over.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Off the play fake to Kamara. It's Breeze. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Troy Apke. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 15-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Staying on the ground, it's Love. And he'll be taken down at the 18. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Let's go. Pittsburgh. Watch the screen. Pass.
From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Redskins send out their punter, standing right on his own 5-yard line. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35.
At their own 33-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Breeze now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. On play action, it's Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bradley Chubb doing what he does best, getting that sack. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Breeze. And that'll be caught by St. Brown. And they're going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Redskins' 31-yard line.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Breeze now has hit on just 7 of 17 passes, 41%. To throw, it's Breeze. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Hey, high 7.
To throw is Breeze. And caught by Henry. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
It's now 4th down and 1.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Hey, zoom.
Breeze to throw for it on 4th. And it is Incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. Haskins and the Redskins come up 1st and 10 at their own 22.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52. Let's go, defense.
They'll start the drive with Love here. A beautiful spin and room to run. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Redskins on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Haskins on 3rd down. And he finds McLaurin. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. He's got the lane, and there he goes. 20, 10, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Kamara. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Each team has its own terminology. Some people call it jumbo, some call it monster, some call it king. But it doesn't really matter. They brought in the big lumber to pick up that first down.
Yeah, you think about goal line defense with the goal line offense that time getting it done. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Redskins,